All right, everyone, welcome back to Vegas, Gabe. Trying something new here with y'all today. Welcome. But this is something that has been brought up in my live streams quite a bit. So I kind of wanted to address this, especially being a bartender in Vegas. I feel like this is something that I can kind of discuss a little bit and kind of chime some different perspectives on. Gambling Gary said, I'll be driving, but I like the subject. Every pickup counter now has a tip jar, or the credit card machine is prompting a tip, and you have to hit other and zero while they mean yeah, exactly, Gary. That's why I wanted to bring this up, because I have my particular story, or my, where you get asked to tip at more places now, fast food establishments, stuff like that. And my particular place that I've been asked to tip was a really weird, was a really strange one that I really didn't expect. I'll get into that later on. But I thought this was a great topic. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes. I'll give it about 5 minutes just to get more people in here. So for the meantime, this is a demo account, everyone. This is a demo account. But I'm going to play some roulette real quick. Just so we can give it some time for more people to join in, okay? But we're gonna talk about different things. I have facts here for you guys. I have my perspective, my opinion, but we'll give it a few minutes real quick. Let's do $10 chips. We'll give it a few minutes just to let more people join, okay? I'd like at least 20 people in the chat before we can start talking about this. Let's see. Hey, Austin, how's it going? Thanks for being here. But Gambling Gary's 1,000,000% right, and we're going to talk about that. Art Moore, what's going on, bud? How you doing today? JC Ferg's in the house. Appreciate you. Do you remember the Rockin' Potato place? Yup. First thing before I even paid was the tip screen. Ron, exactly. And that was just a to-go counter. You know what I mean? That was just a to-go counter. Have they started no tax on tips? Miller, I think that's going to go into effect next year, isn't it? I heard that was going to be next year. Because as a working out here in the field, I haven't heard that it's taken into effect just yet. So I'm playing corners here. Again, I'm just going to give it a few minutes, okay? I want more people to join the chat before we start talking about it. 9 red. I think that's a winner for us. Yeah, Ron, and that's not the only place that does it. There's more and more places. Yep, that's a winner. So we bet 60, but you won 90, so 30 bucks up. That's kind of cool. We are going to run it back. Again, everyone, double tap that screen, though. Hit that like button for me. If you're not subscribed, oh, wow, 0. Please subscribe to my channel. We're going to get started on the topic just in about 5 minutes. I just want more people to get an opportunity to come in the chat, because I think this is a really big topic for a lot of people. But I have facts here. Yeah, Ron, I get it. You're standing up ordering your food. 2, that's a winner. You're standing up ordering your food, and the host is asking for a tip already. You haven't gotten your food yet. You don't know the quality of your food. It's literally you're standing up ordering yourself. When your food is ready, you're standing up to go pick up your food. So who exactly are you tipping? The person don't get me wrong, like, thank you, the cashier person, you took my order correctly. Thank you for that. But does that demand a tip though? You know what I mean? It's a tough one. Hey Quinn, how's it going today? But okay, I guess here we'll do a couple more spins and then I'll kind of get into it, okay? But while we're waiting, what's everyone's overall experience? Like, what do you guys feel about tipping? Are you for tipping? Are you not for tipping? I know that some countries don't tip. So I know some of you guys in the chat, there we go, another winner. So I know there's other people in the chat, they're going to say, I don't tip in my country, so I don't believe in tipping. And I get that. And I know there's going to be a lot of Americans like me that are used to it because that's how we were grown up. But I feel like it has gotten out of hand though. Here, we'll give it a couple more minutes. So that's his job. Yeah, JC Ferg, you're right. The cashier, that's their job to take the order correctly. So, McDonald's doesn't have a tip jar. Jack in the Box doesn't have a tip jar. In-N-Out, you know what? This is actually kind of a great example. In-N-Out always provides excellent service. I've never gotten bad service at In-N-Out. They don't have a tip jar. You know what I mean? In New York City, restaurants already add a tip to your bill automatically. Like at every establishment, though, Miller, like every single place. I think people were feeling generous after the lockdown, but there should be no pressure to tip for fast food or takeout. Yeah, Klondike, Bear, you're 100% right on that. And I think that after COVID is when the big tip shift started happening, you know. Um, it's I don't know. I'm I don't know. I'm so indifferent because yes, I work in a tipping like I work in a job that I do require tips. I work for minimum wage, you know. I make minimum wage out here. So as a bartender and server out here, you really work for tips cuz the hourly is not crap, you know. So you actually really need your tips. So but I'm also saying that yes, 100% the tipping culture has gone way out of line. Way out of line in the USA. You know, like Ron was saying, you go somewhere where you know the cashier takes your food order, and you know they flip the little tablet thing, and on this side it's already asking for a tip. And what I think is kind of jacked up is that you have to put custom and then hit zero for tip. I think that's kind of messed up. Canada, when I visited, added a tip to the bill. Oh, like already, Ron? Wow. Surely not tipping for fast food. Yeah, Quinn, that's, you know, I'm old school. I'm American, you know, I've always tipped, but I'm old school. Um, and I think Ron kind of said it earlier the best. If I'm standing up when I'm ordering, you know, and I got to go pick up my food, there's no table service. I'm not used to tipping on that one, you know what I mean? And I'm a generous tipper. Like when I go gamble at the bars, I understand I'm getting comped beers or comped drinks. So I'm a generous tipper. I tip more for comp drinks than if I'm paying for the drink because I know first of all, yeah, it's free. I mean, you're gambling for it, but it's still free. But I also realize that it's a comped drink, right? And I also know the game. Like I used to work at a casino too, so I know if you tip them well, the bartenders are gonna take care of you too. So I know the game, you know. Um, but yeah, I anything that I'm not used to tipping, like growing up, you know, like fast food restaurants, stuff like that is kind of different for me. Don't go back. JC Ferg, so if you see like tipping, um, if you see like a tip jar, you wouldn't go back. Hey Eric, how's it going? Tip me at McDonald's, please. Mandatory tipping is unbelievable. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, there's one thing I will say here. I'm gonna give it just another couple minutes, and then we'll get started. Okay. Here's one thing I will say. Now that I've been a bartender, and at my last job, at the hotel, I actually had to be a server slash bartender. So I do understand the auto gratuity for big parties. Anything that's a party of six or more, they're gonna add auto grat to it. And now that I've worked in the industry, I actually understand that one because big parties do demand a lot more of your time and energy. You know what I mean? You come and say there's a party of 10, right? You go and someone asks you, hey, can I get a refill of Coke? Hey, can I get another Bud Light? Can I get an extra fork? I dropped mine. Sure. You come back with a Bud Light, a Coke, and an extra fork. Now, three other people, oh, can I get another Corona with the lime? You know what? I forgot I wanted cheese on my burger. Can I get cheese added to my burger? And that literal party is gonna take so much of your time. So I understand the auto gratuity on big restaurants. So I will say that. I heard that they did an experiment when they stopped tipping and noticed the service went down. Don't remember where or when it was. Yeah, I can imagine that, you know. If it's a great restaurant, I don't mind mandatory tipping. No, yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm not against tipping in general. I'm not against tipping in general because I work for tips, you know what I mean? I make minimum wage plus tips. So again, it's just the new industries that are getting very crazy with tips that I don't necessarily, I'm not used to it. You know what I mean? So let me ask you guys this. Okay, actually, I'll go right into it, right? I have a little list here. I'm going to kind of read it. I'm old school. Yes, I'm American. I'm from the USA. So yes, we live in tipping culture, right? Here's what I believe is the traditional form of tipping. Servers, you go to a restaurant, you're going to tip your server, right? Bartenders, I've always been told tip your bartenders, right? Valet drivers, what if you get valet, right? You go to a fancy theater, you go to a fancy restaurant, you go to a casino. I have always been told, yeah, tip your valet drivers, right? And then here's one that I kind of thought about, car washes too. I have I have an unlimited car wash package, right? I have an unlimited car wash package. It's $21.99 a month, and there's like over 20 something locations all around Vegas that you can go and get your car wash done, right? By my old apartment, there was a place where they actually had one or two people that were outside right before I went through the automated machine. They would actually scrub your windshield and your tires for you. So I would tip them because hey, they're out in 107, 110-degree weather. So I would always tip them, especially if they did a great job, you know. But those are my traditional tipping like jobs where you would tip them: servers, bartenders, valet drivers, and car washes. What would you say is your guys's traditional standard? Like I've always known to tip them. I'm kind of curious to hear what you guys say. And while you guys type, I'll kind of catch up on the comments. If it's a great, oh, I already read that one. Like restaurants add 20% tip on all parties. For Auto-grad, I do believe that. I do believe in that. But for adding Auto-grad, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on it now that I'm in the industry. Because it sucks not getting tipped if you know you've provided a great service, you know. But again, in those traditional ones, servers, bartenders, stuff like that. I love to tip, especially at bars. Yeah, or more. And like I said, I'm the same way. I'm not saying I'm against tips. Like this live stream isn't saying I'm against tips, but I am against like the new culture of tipping. I am against like all these new places. Like I kind of went over my traditional tipping. That's what I've always thought, right? But I'm just kind of curious on these new places like fast food restaurants. If you're ordering standing up, stuff like that, you go to a donut shop, there's automatic tipping. You know, you go to, or not automatic, but there's an option of tipping. You know, um, it's just crazy. But let me kind of keep catching up. There you go. See, Eric says that he got asked to tip at the gas pump. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But that wasn't traditional. I feel like that's the new era of the tipping culture, right? Even the average tip percentage has gone up. In the 80s, 10% was pretty standard. Then they introduced GST here at 7%, suggested doubling the tax. Now 20% is standard. Yeah, that's right. And Claude Bear, that's when I say old school, I was raised up on 20% standard. So yeah, see, Ron is saying fast food places never, Eric. Should have stayed at 10% and the tip increased when inflation cost of the meals. Yep, that's true. Hey Maria, how's it going? We're talking about the tipping culture. Hey Juan, thanks for being here. Hey Cinderella. Cinderella, so why are you saying that? You don't tip at all, like ever? So again, my traditional places of tipping, I was raised up, you tip bartenders, you tip servers, you tip valet drivers, you tip car wash drivers. And then now that I live in Vegas, right? So I'm gonna kind of go into like a unique Vegas tipping, right? Here's who you should tip. Cinderella, first of all, where are you from? And why do you say that? I'm just saying where are you from because you might be from a country that doesn't tip. But I'm just curious to what you're saying. Oh yeah, so I see Maria's kind of coming up with another one that's an interesting one. But when you're in Vegas, here's where I would say is a unique one. In Vegas, you tip your cocktail servers, right? Cocktail servers are the ones that when you're gambling on slot machines, they're coming around and getting your drink orders. I feel like, yeah, tip your cocktail servers. And I'll tell you what, if you tip them generously, they will remember you and they will take care of you. Um, Table game dealers. A lot of people don't know you can tip your blackjack dealers, you can tip your roulette dealers, you can tip your craps dealers. Um, and you know, when I played craps at a table, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was tipping them and they were actually telling me where to put my chips and all that. Slot techs slash slot attendants, when you get a hand pay, which is over $1,200, you can also tip your slot attendants. I do like doing that. Or if I'm at like a locals bar where the bartenders have to tip you out or pay you out your hand pays, I will tip the bartender on that. And Maria is right. A lot of people do believe in tipping the housekeepers out here. Now, I will say this. A lot of housekeepers get paid very well here in Vegas. They have a union and everything. And I will also say that now that I've worked at a couple of different hotels as a bartender, I will say that housekeepers are generally taken care of pretty well. They get lunch brought in for them at least twice a week. They get parties, they get outings where they get taken at ballparks and all kinds of stuff. So housekeepers get taken pretty well, but taken care of pretty well. But yeah, a lot of people do believe in leaving tips inside of the rooms for the housekeepers. So that's where I believe it's unique Vegas tipping. Do you guys have anyone else in Vegas that you like to tip? Oh, and then I guess you can say like Uber drivers or Lyft drivers. Do you guys tip Uber drivers and Lyft drivers? Let me catch up on comments real quick. And if you are watching, please double tap that screen, hit that like button for me. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Some people are cheap, Gabe. Aren't more, 100%. If you order groceries and have someone shop for you, you should tip. Yeah, there you go. Eric brought up a new one. And again, this is that new era of tipping where it wasn't there when I grew up, you know what I mean? So yeah, for something like that, I do believe in that. Yeah, if they're tipping you, if they're prompt and courteous and all that, it's just like a Uber or Lyft driver. Yeah, I don't mind tipping that, but they're providing a service for you, And sometimes when you get into like an Uber and Lyft driver, or Uber and Lyft ride, they ask you what kind of music you want to listen to. Do you want AC or do you want me to roll down the windows? That's an extra service they're providing. I don't mind tipping that. You know what I mean? But again, that's one of those new ones that is borderline for some reason for some people. But me, I don't mind tipping for that. But yeah, same thing with if you order groceries online, yeah, for sure. If they go out of the way for you, if they bring it right to your doorstep, they're knocking, they're even kind of willing to hand them right over to you. Yeah, if they're going above and beyond, I don't mind tipping for them either, for sure. I ordered delivery pizza, and when the driver came, he demanded a tip. He got belligerent. My mom ended up giving him a few bucks because I refused. He was going to get one. Oh wow, really, Miller? That's crazy. See, again, I don't act like that, like for a tip as a bartender. But it would be cool to, you know, if I provide a great service, that they take care of me too. Hey, Frenchie, how's it going? Trying something a little bit different here. Always tip your housekeepers. Okay, so a lot of people are saying, how about Starbucks? Do you believe in tipping at Starbucks like baristas? I don't drink nor coffee. I work out and eat meals at home. Okay, so you're Cinderella. So you're like you've never been anywhere that you can tip someone. Paul M. Hey, how's it going, bud? Thanks for being here. I like to leave a tip for housekeeping. Okay, nice. Yeah. So a lot of people in here actually like to tip the housekeepers. My Chinese delivery guy gets $10 or more. I've known him for years. Nice, Ron. That's cool. You should tip your Uber driver if they get you home safely. Yeah, I do tip. I actually do tip my drivers. But again, that I would say Uber and Lyft because Uber and Lyft wasn't around when I was growing up. Taxi drivers were, you know what I mean? But I would tip my taxi drivers if they provided a good service, and I would say same thing for Uber and Lyft drivers. If they're providing a good service for you and they're driving safely, they're asking you, would you like this a certain kind of music? Some even provide chargers for you. I've even been in an Uber Lyft here in Vegas where they have water bottles for you, so they're going above and beyond. So I do believe in tipping for that. I give cash to Uber drivers. Yeah, I used to do that for the longest time. Now I kind of just use the app, but I get that. Quinn says I tip Uber and delivery folks. Okay, nice. I tip Uber drivers a couple of times in Vegas. I didn't tip a cab driver because they long hauled me. Yeah, Klondike Bear. I don't know. I don't like taxi drivers out here. I think they drive very recklessly. They feel like they own the road. I feel like they put people in danger, and yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Uber and Lyft for sure. Sorry, hold on. Because most of them gamble at their local casinos and lose. Quinn says no to baristas. Coffee spots just leave a $1. It's the thought and counts if you like. You tip the bartender. Okay, I will tip $1 or two at Starbucks. Yeah, same here. I will tip like a buck or a couple bucks. But yeah, I don't believe in like the standard 20% for them because it's a coffee. You know. All right, so we've gone over my traditional tipping: servers, bartenders, valet drivers, car washes. I would say like unique Vegas like tipping experiences. Your cocktail servers, if you're gambling at a casino floor, and they're bringing you your comp drinks, cocktail servers. Yeah, take care of them seriously. And I'll say this: in Vegas, a lot of bartenders, servers, or cocktail servers, they're on what's called tip compliance, which means that say they make $12 an hour, right, which is minimum wage. Their employer is saying, hey, guess what? We're going to take $4 of that right out of your paycheck. So instead of 12, you're making $8 an hour now because we know you're making cash tips. So we're making that so you're kind of paying something towards taxes. So a lot of servers out here are on tip compliance. So kind of keep that in mind. Table game dealers, you can tip your table game dealers, slot technicians / attendants that do hand pays for you. Those are other people that you would tip. Maria brought up a good point, housekeeping. And then I would say in the new culture, baristas are someone's like that you can tip now. And then fast food, that's like another one that's been new, but a lot of people kind of do believe in that. I always tip my Uber drivers in Vegas cash. Yeah, Frenchie, and trust me, now that there's going to be no tax on tips, I believe next year, that's going to change a lot. But trust me when I say that cash tips went a long way because like I was working at a nightclub and even at the bar at the hotel, you get tips on your hourly, you get tips on your credit card tips, and then on top of that, you're supposed to report your cash tips. So that's 3 different ways that they're taxing the hell out of you. So yeah, trust me, cash goes a long way. But now that no tax on tips is gonna go through next year, that's gonna help a lot. Should you tip your YouTube content creator? There you go, Eric. That's a great question for you guys because I feel like that's kind of in the new generation of tipping too. How do you guys feel about that? You know, your TikTok creators, your YouTube creators, um, oh gosh, I'm having a brain freeze. Your Kick creators, your Twitch creators. Do you believe in tipping your content creators too? Thank you, Maria. Appreciate that. Tip my tour guide in December. Run. So yeah, and now let's go over the craziest places that you guys have been asked to leave a tip. I really want to hear from you guys. I'll tell you my craziest place that I've been to that literally had you fill out a form. Um, that was at a teeth whitening place. Me and my girlfriend were paying for a monthly teeth whitening service, and every time you went, they would have you fill out a form, and that was basically when they deducted your monthly pay for the teeth whitening service, where they can get a tip out of that. So would you guys tip? Would you guys tip your teeth whitening person? I thought that was kind of really odd. That's a negative. They should pay us. Gotcha, Eric. Hey, Fishy for life. How's it going? Thank you for being here. Art Moore says, gotta tip the strippers. But yeah, so my craziest place that I've ever been asked to leave a tip for sure has been the teeth whitening place. But I'm curious to hear what you guys are gonna say. I like this corner strategy. Are we going to have to tip to get heart surgery? Right, you're gonna have to tip your cardiologist. Artmore, I feel like you have a really funny like place. What's the craziest place that you've ever been asked to leave a tip at, Artmore? I feel like you're gonna have one of the funniest answers. But yeah, again, my craziest place I've been asked to leave a tip at has been a teeth whitening place. And then I'll also go into this. I know a couple of you, or one of you commented on my community post, and I know someone in here also kind of wrote the same thing. If you guys have to stand up to order at like the counter, and then you guys have to get a number and you guys go and pick up your food, like fast food style, right? Do you guys tip? I feel like the majority have said no. So if you guys have to go up to the counter and order your food standing up, and then when they call your number, they call your name, you go and stand up and have to pick up your food, would you guys tip on that? That's my biggest thing that I will say that I think most people aren't used to, is basically tipping for fast food and stuff like that. If you don't get table service, would you tip on that? I also always tip the dealers on the tables when I gamble in Vegas. I believe give a little and the luck come back to you. Frenchie, I do, when I play table games, I do tip as well. Here's what most people don't know. Here, I'm going to use this as an example. Say you guys are at a blackjack table, right? You guys are at a blackjack table playing. Here's a little circle where you put your bet, right? You put your bet right in the middle. Most people don't know this. So here's your bet right in the middle, right? That's where you place your bet. Most people don't know this. You can actually put, like, say a $5 chip right here, halfway on your little bet area and halfway off of it. That means you're actually betting for the dealer. So if you both win, like if you bet and then the dealer's bet wins, you both get paid on that. But if you lose, they're going to take the bet for your bet and they're going to take the bet that you took for the dealer too. So I didn't know that, but when I was playing table games a long time ago, I actually asked the dealer, do you prefer I just tip you like $1 right now, or do you want me to gamble it for you? And they're like, gamble it for me. If we win, we both win. If we lose, we both lose. So that was kind of cool. I actually thought that was fun. Do you tip a bank when they give you your own money? That I've never been asked to tip at a bank, but it wouldn't surprise me either. When I pick up food, I will give $1 or $2. Yeah, so it just depends, like, on the place, right? Like, I used to work at the last hotel I used to work at. As a bartender and server, we had to take the phone orders too. So if you're taking phone orders for food, like from the guest staying inside of the rooms, they would call down from the rooms and they'd be like, hey, I want to order a burger. You have to ask them, how do you want it cooked? What kind of cheese do you want on there? You know, is lettuce, tomato, pickles, whatever okay? Okay. You know, what kind of, do you want fries, or do you want sweet potato fries, or do you want a sub mashed potatoes, or a side salad, or Caesar salad? You know, so by the time you're on a phone taking a phone order, that's 5 minutes later. The other bartender could have helped 3, 4 new people that came up to the bar getting all that tip money. So yeah, in that 5 minutes it took to take a phone order, the other bartender possibly got a few bucks in tips. So on the phone orders, I actually really enjoyed getting tipped because it's taking up my time. So for that one, I actually do believe in tipping. You know, I do believe in tipping. If you're calling down to your restaurant or bar at the hotel you're staying at, I do believe in tipping on that one, because you might be taking them from, you know, another part of the bar where they could be making money. Hey, Slipjaw, I'm just having roulette in the background. We're talking about tipping though. Slipjaw, what's your intake on tipping? All right, Ron, I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for being on my video premiere earlier, and thank you for being here. Have a great night. We'll talk soon, Ron. Take care. Plays craps and always puts the dealers on the bets. Okay, nice. That's cool. I never order from the places or apps that have delivery charge and expect a tip on top. The tip is for the delivery, one or the other. Okay, and that's a weird one, because sometimes the delivery fee, it doesn't even go to the driver. But I understand, because if you have to tip for the fee of delivery, and then you have to or if you have to pay the delivery fee plus you have to tip, you're getting hit 2 different ways. But even though the driver's really only getting one of them, it's a weird one, you know. Um, But yeah, I feel like we've been all on the same page. And I wanted to show you guys something here on the States too. Check this out. A lot of people don't know this, since we're talking about tipping and in the US. States with the lowest tipped cash wages, several states maintain the federal minimum wage, which is $2.13 as their state standard for tipped workers. So if you're making tips, guess what your minimum wage is? Right there, $2.13, because they know you're making tips, so they think they can get away with you and only paying $2.13. So these states only pay $2.13 for tipped employees. Alabama, Georgia, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Nebraska, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Wyoming, and other U.S. territories. This means that tip workers in these states start with a base of $2.13 and really have to rely on tips. And then here's a couple of ones that aren't much better, but they're a little bit better. Wisconsin is $2.33. West Virginia is $2.62. Delaware is $2.23. Beyond that, other states like Arkansas is $2.63. Pennsylvania is $2.83, and New Mexico is $3. That's crazy if you think about it. And then I think we went into, oh yeah, I asked, this is ChatGPT, by the way. I always happy to do it, good service, but these days people expect to be tip regardless, so that sucks. Yeah, Slipjaw. Yeah, we were talking about that kind of earlier. Like my traditional, you know, my I'm very old school. I'm very traditional. The services that I believe in tipped, like tipping them, is servers, bartenders, valet drivers, car wash drivers. In Vegas, I feel like cocktail servers, table game dealers, slot techs, or attendants that do hand pays. A couple people in the chat earlier brought up housekeepers, tipping your housekeepers. Nowadays, I feel like Uber and Lyft drivers. A couple people in here said that they believe in tipping their delivery drivers, like if someone's delivering their groceries and stuff like that. But again, if they're going above and beyond and delivering a great service, yeah, for sure. I don't mind tipping them, you know, for sure. The ones that have been 50-50, like would you tip your Starbucks baristas? Another one would be like fast food, where you're ordering at the counter and the cashier is just taking your order, and then you have to go pick up your own food, so you're not getting any table service. Would you believe in tipping them? And then other ones like donut shops, like do you believe in tipping there? Stuff like that. I feel like those have been the more controversial ones tonight. And again, my craziest place that I've ever been asked to leave a tip has been when me and my girlfriend went to get our teeth whitening, or our teeth whitened, and you can tip your technician. I feel like that was kind of the weirdest one that I've been personally asked to leave a tip at. All right, and then there's some that pay very high bartender wage, like Washington pays $16.66 an hour. California pays 16.50 an hour, so you're making 16.50 an hour plus your tips. Connecticut has a weird one. Servers are 6.38 in hotels and restaurants. Bartenders are 8.23. District of Columbia is $12 per hour. But the employers must ensure that you're making at least $18 an hour with your hourly and your tips. In Nevada, it's $12 an hour plus tips. Unless you're part of the union, then the union is like almost 20 or over, just over $20 an hour. But yeah, kind of interesting. But I will say this, here's my big thing on tipping. Um, like when I was working at the hotel, right? I got minimum wage and then plus tips. But again, I really didn't rely on my minimum wage. I really relied on my tips, right? But here's my big thing on this. And I'm talking about my old school, my traditional tipping. Your servers, your bartenders, stuff like that. I'm not talking about like at these new like fast food places and all that, right? For servers, for bartenders, like your old school OG, like, you know, tipping culture. Don't punish the staff for the tip culture of today's days, you know. Because the jobs still demand maximum effort, even though you're getting minimum wage, if that makes sense, you know. The jobs still expect you to do everything. As a bartender, you still have to, if you're the opening bartender, you still have to set up the entire bar top. You still have to get all the dishes. You still have to, you know, make sure everything's to temp. You still have to set everything. As a closing bartender, you still have to clean everything, run all the dishes through the dishwasher. You have to make sure, you know, everything's wiped down, everything's clean. If anything's expiring, you have to throw it away. You still have to take out the trash at the end of the night. You have to sweep and mop. You have to do all that good stuff. So you're doing all that for minimum wage, right? So again, you're really relying on your tips. But that's, I guess, my bottom line is, you know, don't punish the staff for the bad culture. I do believe that, you know, all these places should be paying a better hourly wage. I really do believe that, you know, because they still demand you to do everything, you know, up to health code standards. And, you know, they still have a big checklist that you have to do if you're an opening bartender or server, or closing bartender or server. But, you know, my thing is like, don't punish the people because we're kind of in an out of control tip world right now. You know what I mean? Hey, Dano, how's it going today? Thank you for being here. I guess that's my big thing on there. But does anyone have any extra thoughts on the tipping culture of today's world? And again, like I said, I know some of you guys are from another part of the world and you might not believe in tips, and I understand that too, you know. But when I travel to other places, see, I love my little corner patterner here. When I travel to other countries, I do adapt to their culture. You know what I mean? So if I'm somewhere where the tipping culture is just like the U.S., hey, I'm already used to tipping. So of course, if I go to another country and they tip there, yeah, I'm gonna tip. I'm used to it. But you know, you might also go to a place that doesn't believe in tipping. You know what I mean? And there are a couple of countries out there where if you tip, you can actually offend them. So I understand that you might be coming from a different place that doesn't tip, so it might be a little bit strange to you. But again, when I personally go to another country, I'm gonna adapt my ways because I'm a visitor in their country, you know. I have an interview at Red Lobster as a server, and hopefully my place gets busy so I can get tips. Oh, there you go, Austin. Good luck on your interview. I hope you get it. You're gonna nail it. Just you know, just be yourself and be prepared. You know, look up a little bit of the culture of the restaurant and stuff like that. Sorry to drink some water. But yeah, anyone in the chat want to add anything to the tipping culture? Hey, retired canine, how's it going? We've just been talking about like the tipping culture in today's world, and you know, ooh, that's a loser right there. Yeah. Oh no, we won. There we go. See, I like these corners. These corners hit more often than they do not, which is great. So yeah, for anyone just joining, please double tap that screen for me. Hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I live in a beach resort. Everyone gets tipped, seems like, for everything. So retired canine, yeah. See, so if you don't mind, let me ask you, since you live in a resort, so who do you believe in tipping, and who do you believe that like it's a little bit of a stretch to tip them? Because now here's another one. Here's another one that you can kind of say, you know, like a what's it called, a bus busboy, whatever they call it, or bellman, if they're helping you with your luggage to your room, yeah, I believe in tipping them too. The thing I've seen lately is at the airport when you buy stuff at the store but nobody helps you, you put your stuff on the counter and it sees what you are buying. Wait, did they really ask you to tip, Frenchie? I saw that on like TikTok and shorts and stuff, but I didn't know if that was real. They really ask you for a tip even though no one helped you? Hey JP Silva, how's it going? Um Quad zeros at the roulette board at Plaza. No, do they really have it? I had heard someone told me that they were doing that, but I didn't know that that was really a thing. Did you guys hear that Golden Gate and Fremont Street is getting rid of dealers altogether? They're gonna go all electronic for all their table games now. Yeah, see, Austin, everyone in the chat is rooting for you. You got it. You got it. That's crazy. I see. If no one's helping me, I'm definitely not tipping. But see, that's another one. That's another one. That would go right up there with one of my craziest places to get asked for a tip. Mine was at my teeth whitening appointment. But Frenchie has an interesting one. You got asked a tip when no one, like absolutely no one helped you out at all. That's crazy. But anyone that's new to the chat, I would love, like, what's your input on it? Again, my traditional old school, like, tipping, like, I was raised tipping is like servers, bartenders, valet drivers. Like, if someone's at a car wash and they're actually doing really good on your car, like, I believe in tipping people like that. Um, in Vegas, I feel like cocktail servers, table game dealers, slot technicians, or attendants. If you get a hand pay over $1,200 and a hand pay, I do believe in tipping that. Also, it's worth noting that if you go to a bar off the strip, where they have like the bar top Keno, bar top video poker, if you get a hand pay there over $1,200, guess who's gonna tip you, or guess who's gonna pay that out to you? Your bartenders. So yeah, also I will tip if I get a hand pay at a bar top. I will tip the bartenders because they're taking the time to pay me. You know what I mean? Akiosos, how's it going? Thank you for being here. How are you? If I walk down to pick up a pizza from the local pizzeria and the girl handed me the box that's sitting there on the countertop and then wants me to fill in the little tablet for 20 to 20% tip, no. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I get it. The Rio in Vegas about 10 years ago tried to force me to tip my bags to the bellman instead of taking my luggage to my room myself. I can take my own bag. I don't need to tip someone to do it. Yeah, see, Klondike Bird, you're bringing up an interesting thing because I've gone to the airports in other countries where like they meet you right at your door, like when you're getting out of your cab or whoever's dropping you off at the airport, and they come with the luggage cart. And sometimes it's like I only have one bag, like one rollaway luggage bag and my backpack. I can handle that. I don't need anyone. So I kind of feel weird when they're kind of doing it automatically because that kind of forces you, like you have to do it. And it's like honestly, I could have been okay just doing it myself. Um so yeah, that's an interesting one too. And I've been to hotels before where, same thing. They're taking your luggage or they want to help you. And I felt so awkward one time. I think this was in Mexico, I believe. I went somewhere and I remember I didn't have like a small bill, so like the bell person helped me with like one bag up some stairs, and then I even kind of kept my backpack on me, so they only really helped me with one bag. And because I didn't have no change, I had to give them like a $10 bill for them helping me for like 5 minutes with one bag that I could have helped on my own. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a little bit different. I agree with that on playing at the bar if you hit a hand pay. Yeah, and again, and to be fair, I know we're talking about tipping, and it's not that I'm complaining because I'm actually a very generous tipper. When I'm sitting at the bar top, you guys have all watched my Keno streams or my slot streams. I'm a very very generous tipper. Like if I get a drink, I'm tipping usually about $5 a drink. Because I know it's a comp drink. And then on top of that, I'm not stupid. I know that the bartenders are gonna take much better care of me if I'm taking care of them too. That's why I always get great service anywhere I go. Um, Fro's been hanging out with me when I've done live streams at Oyo. Fro can tell you I get like very good customer service there. But yeah, and don't get me wrong, some of them are like legit friends, like the bartenders there. But I take care of them and they take care of me back. Hey Sean, how's it going? Double green zeros treat me good. Really? So you like playing the double green zeros? I'd be tipping that I'm broke, right, Austin? Yeah, anytime I know I'm gonna go do a live stream, I always factor in some tipping money. You know what I mean? And like my girlfriend doesn't really drink, so even if she's with me and I've had a couple of drinks or I've had a few drinks, but my girlfriend only got a Coke, but they refilled her Coke, 2 or 3 times the whole time we've been there. Yeah, I'm gonna throw them a few bucks for that too, because they're still taking care of her. $60 in small cash on trips, but it goes too fast. I tip $30 for small jackpots and up to $200 for big ones. Yeah, see, Gambling Gary has a great point. I'll tell you guys personally what I do. If I'm sitting at a bar top for the first time, I don't know the bartender, or um, you know, it's someone that's never helped me before, I will actually tip them, especially on the first like couple of drinks or first few drinks. I will actually throw, like, say I go to the bar top and I'm playing Keno, and they make me a whiskey Coke or whatever, a margarita, whatever I order, right? I'm gonna actually throw a $5 bill into their tip jar. They usually have that little glass in front where you can put the tip money in there. I'll throw them a $5 bill, and I'm gonna tip them per drink the first couple of visits. That way they know I'm a tipper and they're gonna take care of me. After I know the bartender and I'm there, I'm there occasionally and they know me, then I don't tip them per drink. I'll tip them at the end because they already know me and they know I'm a tipper, so they're gonna take care of me. So I'll give you an example. If I'm sitting at the bar top for 2.5 hours or 3 hours doing a Keno stream and I get a few drinks out of it, say I get, I don't know, 5 drinks out of it, and my girlfriend got a couple of Cokes or waters or Pepsis or whatever she's drinking that day, I'm gonna throw them a good $30 or $40 tip because I was there 2.5, 3 hours. They waited on me and my girlfriend very well. You know what I mean? So at that point, I'll tip at the end, but I'll still take care of them. But it's because I know them and they know me and they know I'm a tipper. Percent tip for a comp drink in the casinos now. Generally, I'd give $2 a drink or give them a 5 if I order two. Klondike Bear, that's pretty fair. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. It depends on who it is. I just because I work in the industry and I'm a good tipper. Um, I usually tip about 5 a drink. At least 4 a drink. You know what I mean? But I would say $2 to $3 is probably a good average, a pretty solid average. Um, but at least tip $1 a drink. At least tip $1 a drink is what I say. Jill and I tipped the bartender at Silverton enough to hold ice on large tequila shots. She was close to not being able to feel her teeth. She had a 7 spot with 2 to 6 spots and 3 more 5 spots. Holy crap. And trust me, when you're tipping the bartenders or cocktail servers, they'll remember you and they're going to take care of you. You know what I mean? I drink club soda or Diet Coke, $3 that bar. Nice, retard K9. That's great. Yeah. But yeah, that's how I feel. If you take care of them, they're going to take care of you. But again, it's a comp drink. And yeah, I know what people say. It's not really a free drink because you're gambling for it. True. But no one told you to drink either. You know what I mean? And when you're feeding the machines, you're feeding the casino, not the bartender or cocktail server. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of feel about that. See, I like these corners. These corners do really well for me. I got to start playing roulette again at a table. But how do you guys like this type of live stream, though? I actually kind of want to start a podcast once a week, doing a topic like we did today. Um, Never anything controversial, never any politics, never any religion, anything like that. But I would like to start a live stream or a podcast once a week, doing kind of something similar to what we did today. So did you guys kind of enjoy this? Did you guys not enjoy this? Is there any constructive criticism you have? But yeah, again, I do believe in tipping a little bit extra when it's a comp drink. But that's just my strategy. But and then yeah, same, you can say the same thing with cocktail servers. Like if you're at a casino floor, and if it's a cocktail server, I know. Same thing, you know. Well, no, cocktail servers, because you don't know if you're going to see them on another round or not. Cocktail servers, I will tip every single round, no matter what. And don't be afraid to ask them for change. Don't be afraid to ask them for change. Like if a cocktail server brings you a drink, and you only have like a 10 or a 20, if you give them a 10 and say, hey, can I get $6 or $7 back? They usually have change for you, you know. So at least you're tipping them, so they're happy. Hey, Ogie's in the house. How's it going, Ogie? If you guys are interested, Ogie makes some really great beef jerky, a really great dry rub. So if you guys are interested, Ogie has some really great products out there. I tip $5 a drink for my slot server most of the time, sometimes three if I don't have much cash left in my purse. Oh, okay, yeah, I get, yeah, for sure. But that's still either one. That's still a great tip. And I'll tell you guys what. So I get this question a lot, so this is a good opportunity to clarify this. Um, are drinks free in Vegas? If you're gambling, yes, they usually are. But keep in mind that they're usually less strict when you're on the casino floor, because there's usually only one cocktail server that's covering a pretty big area on the casino floor. So the cocktail server is not usually going to be as strict. They're not going to see how much you're betting. They're not going to see how much money you have into the machine, but they are usually more strict at the bar top. The bartenders have to be more strict, and I'll tell you why. Because those are more valuable seats to the casino. If you're at a slot machine, more often than not, you're probably gambling. You know what I mean? And no one else is going to sit there unless they're going to gamble too. But at the bar top, people can sit at the bar top just to drink, right? So that the area that's seating at the bar top is more valuable to the casino. Yeah, you can sit there and gamble, which the casino is going to make money on, but you can also sit there and just drink, which the casino is going to make money on. So the bartenders have to be more strict. So there's different policies. Some casinos have lighting systems on their video poker machines, right? So sorry, I'm trying to look for something. I'm going to use my mouse, okay? So say like this is your video poker machine, like on this side's where the bartender's at, right? There's a little lighting system, and the bartender can see that. If it's red, the bartender's going to tell you that you're not gambling enough. If it's green, that tells the bartender, hey, yep, you're gambling enough. What can I get for you? You know? But if it's an older machine or older casino and they don't have that, they might say you have to put a minimum of $20 in, and you have to be max betting. Or some places might say you have to put $20 in and you have to be actively betting, you know? Rio, last time I was at the Rio, it was you have to put a 20 in and you have to be betting at least $1 a spin. So every casino is a little bit different, but the bartenders have to be more strict on that. Don't get mad at the bartenders. They're just doing their job. Yeah, see, Frenchie says, oh, always give you change. They're going to be happy to because you're tipping them. You know what I mean? So yeah, usually they'll be happy to. No small bills or on a ticket. Yeah, that's true. I tipped a cocktail server 100 a few years ago, and I had 39,000 on a hand pay. She bought a round while we waited to be paid out. Wow, that's cool. That's awesome, retired K9. At least 20 in Vegas for a drink. Yeah, see, Austin is actually a Vegas local, so Austin knows what's up with that too. And every place is gonna be a little bit different, but for the most part, yeah. As we slowly turn into a cashless society, you have to make more of a conscious effort to make sure you have smaller bills on hand for tip. Yeah, that's true. And I'll tell you guys what. You guys know I just came back from Mexico. Came back 5 days ago. Yeah, 5 days ago. And out there, we actually went to a casino. They have a casino in Tijuana, Mexico called Caliente Casino. You know, their slot machines do not take any cash at all. They do not take cash at all. You have to go and get it's kind of like a player's card, right, with them. And then once you get a player's card, they check your ID. They give you the first one for free. After that, they charge you for another card. Then you have to take that card to the cage and you have to put cash onto that card. Then when you walk up to a slot machine, you tap to pay on the slot machine. It activates your money. It's crazy. I never expected that. By the way, everyone, please double tap that screen and hit that like button for me. But yeah, that's kind of the unique Vegas experience. And again, you can tip your blackjack dealers, your roulette dealers, your table game dealers out there. Again, I'm accustomed to that. If you get a hand pay, tip your slot attendants. or if you're at a smaller bar where the bartender has to do all of it, tip your bartender. They're taking time out from making tips, making drinks to pay you out. So I believe in tipping them. Resorts World tried something like that when they opened. They probably still have it, but it never took off. Oh, did they really? Klondike Bear? I know Resorts World has that where you buy the card and then you can tap to pay for draft beer. I think they still have that one. That would actually probably be a cool video. I should do a video of that. But I know they had that. We chose the I hope I said that right. Is that better? What, the card thing? Yes and no. It was weird, but to be honest with you, it actually wasn't bad having the little card in Mexico at the casino to just tap to pay, because you literally go to the next machine and you just tap it, and then it takes a second, and then it uploads your money on there and it tells you your credit. Then when you cash out or when you want to go to another machine, you just hit the cash out button and it just says thank you. And then you literally just take your card to the next machine, tap it, and activate your pay. It is kind of better. You don't have to worry about vouchers getting jammed, the machine being out of paper. You don't have to worry about losing your voucher. It was kind of different, but it took some time to getting used to. But I kind of see the benefits of it too. I really dislike greedy people who are working hard. Like who, Austin? Oh, when tipping. Okay, yeah, yeah. Again, let's see what else have I gone over. And again, in Vegas, some people here. I'll do a spin while we're waiting. In Vegas, some bartender servers, they have to pay what's called tip compliance. Tip compliance means that if you're making $12 an hour, your employers say, okay, you're making $12. Guess what? Here's your $12. We're gonna take $4 out of that. So really, you're only making $8 an hour. And why do they do that? They do that and they make you pay taxes on that because they know that you're making cash tips, and they know that you're probably not reporting all of them. So now it's basically like a mandatory tipping system. So say you order a drink from someone and you don't tip them, you're actually kind of hurting their pocket by not tipping them. And then also bartenders and servers, sometimes we have to pay taxes on our sales. So it's kind of crappy if you don't get tipped because you're paying taxes on tips that you never received in the first place. So, it's kind of interesting on that, but it was running my free play through. Oh, so you got it off of $3 or free play on a $2 bet? That's awesome, Retired K9. Hey, Audrey, how's it going today? Thank you for being here. Audrey, I just have roulette in the background, but we're actually talking about the tipping culture. Since you're not, Audrey, if you don't mind sharing, since you're from Canada, what is your thoughts on like the tipping culture? Since I'm sure there's some new people in here. To recap, I'm from the USA. We believe in tipping here, but I'm old school. I believe in tipping like the old school traditional roles: servers, bartenders, valet drivers, car wash drivers. And then in Vegas, unique to like Vegas tipping opportunities like cocktail servers, your blackjack, table game dealers, roulette dealers, slot attendants that pay hand pays. A couple people in here mentioned people in here mentioned tipping your housekeepers. Some people said like tipping Uber and Lyft drivers if they do a good job. Eric in here earlier said tipping like if you get Uber, like if someone delivers your groceries and they do a good job. So that's what kind of people in here have been saying earlier. But what's everyone's thoughts if you haven't shared on like the tipping culture? Hey, Santos says 50 on black. Okay, and for those of you just joining, this is a demo account. Okay, I'm just here kind of having fun with you guys while we're talking about tipping. $50. There we go. Spinning. Hey, Alex, how's it going? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Irish King, how's it going? Thanks for being here. Yeah, same for you, Alex and Irish King. Since you guys are just, oh, it was red. Since you guys are just joining, what's your thoughts on like the tipping culture right now? Do you guys believe in tipping? Do you don't believe in tipping? Are you guys kind of a little bit more old school like me, where you believe in like tipping the traditional roles? I think kind of something that a lot of people have agreed on today is not tipping for like fast food establishments. Oh, you're gonna say red? Yeah, Alex, it has been a minute for sure. Hey, Dave's in the house. How's it going, bud? We gotta catch up. I'll text you soon. I'll tip firemen if they came and saved my house and cat. There you go, Dave. Late to the party. Ooh, crap, that was a loss. All right, I'll tell you guys what. We'll do 50 on red now. But yeah, for anyone new that's joining, I would love to have your input on this. What's your thoughts on the tipping culture today? Oh, really? Now it's going to go to black. You tip 30% on your trash guys, valet, food, etc. But yeah, I don't know. It's in a, it's in a very, we live in a different world today. Wait, I screwed this up. Oh, hold on. There we go. Bam, bam, and bam. I was at an event at a hotel in Chicago where people were up all night and sleeping late. Housekeeping started knocking on doors at 8 a.m., shaking people down for tips. Holy crap, are you serious? Ooh, Gambling Gary, I was playing craps on here yesterday, trying to find some new strategies. But fast food is ridiculous since we go pick it up and not specifically made, etc. Yeah, Dave, see, that's what a lot of people were in the chat were saying, that like Ron was on here earlier, and actually there's been about 3 people that have said this. If you order at a counter standing up and then you have to go pick up your food on your own, most people on here are saying they don't believe in tipping for that. What does everyone think is a good tip for housekeeping in Vegas? See, Frenchie, that's an interesting one because housekeepers are one of the hardest workers at a hotel. I will say that 100%, especially when they're low staffed or they're not union. They have a lot of rooms that they have to get through. So, they work very, very hard. I've also worked at 2 different hotels back to back, and I will say the housekeeping team got spoiled a lot. They would get food brought to them at least twice a week, whether it was like Quiznos subs or like big subs or like party plates, you know what I mean? They would get pizza brought to them. So they do get recognized for their hard work, but they are probably one of the hardest jobs in a hotel. So if I've gotten good service, you know what I mean? I don't know. I've left them like $5 a day because I've been to some hotels here in Vegas where they've done a great job, and I've been to other places where I feel like they just kind of replaced the towels and that was it. But if they did a good job, I've left them like $5 a day. But what's everyone's thoughts on that? Do you guys tip your housekeepers? Generally, if you like any service you get, we or I will tip. But what I don't agree with is mandatory tipping. Yeah, Audrey, and that's what someone was mentioning in here earlier today, is that, it's kind of weird when you go to like a fast food establishment or any place like that, and, you pay and then they like flip the tablet your way, and it has like 5%, 10%, 20%, or it has like 10%, 20%, 30%, but it doesn't have an option for 0. So you have to go to custom tip and then you have to manually type in 0. And then I think it's really strange when like the cashier's staring at you the whole time. You know what I mean? That's really crazy. Irish King says black now or odd number. I'm a craps master dice roller. Tequila helps me. Hey, Gambling Gary, we should play some craps then if next time you're in town. I really want to learn craps. I really want to learn craps really well. I generally $5 a day for housekeeping. Okay, cool. $10 a night since it's normally a suite. Okay, nice. Irish King says 25 through 36. Here's what we'll do then. Since I've heard black, I've heard odd, and I've heard 25 through 36. So let's see what we get here. And again, this is just a demo account while I hang out with you guys and talk about tipping. This is a great chat, Vegas Gabe. You do a great job. I appreciate that. Thank you. I really actually want to start a podcast once a week where I can have something like today's topic. So we won one of these. I forgot what number it was. 7? Okay. Yeah, I really want to start a podcast once a week where we, where we have a new topic every week, kind of like today's was tipping. So I actually might start that very soon. I opt out of housekeeping when I'm staying at a casino. I don't want to be bothered with somebody coming in my room when I'm not there, but I also clean up my mess and never leave a dirty room. See, Um, Woodsy Tom, you bring up a good point too, because if I'm only there overnight, do I really need housekeeping? No. I mean, I'm sorry, say you're there for 2 nights, you know what I mean? If you're there for 2 nights and you have enough, you're only there for a couple nights, you really don't need housekeeping. I get that because then you have to worry about someone going into your room. Like I believe in locking up my valuables when I'm not there. You know what I mean? Especially when I travel. Guys know I do YouTube and TikTok and stuff. So when I travel, I have my camera, I have my gear. If I'm traveling for like a longer period of time, I'll have my laptop with me because I have to video edit. So I kind of believe in locking everything up. So if I'm only there for a couple of nights and I have enough towels and stuff like that, then I will opt out of housekeeping as well. Or I will just say, you know what, I don't need housekeeping, I just need fresh towels the next day. You know what I mean? So I get that too. Nice, Gary. There's a few places that would be really cool to place some craps. Oyo has $5 tables. Ellis Island is newly remodeled, and I think they have $5 tables there too, unless they jacked up their prices with the remodel. And like Fremont, there's a bunch of places. I do $5 a night, but then 10 to 20 on a suite, depending on what we have. Okay, I get that. Hey, Insane, how's it going today? Is this really Tilly T? We were going to get a pizza delivered and I ordered online and it was automatically added a $10 or 10% tip, so I didn't order. I usually tip the driver $5. Yeah, see, Audrey, I get that. And then someone in here actually brought up a good point too, that sometimes when you order from these apps like Uber Eats and all that, they charge you a delivery fee. And then on top of that, then you have to pay tip the driver too. So it's important to distinguish if the delivery fee is going to the company or the driver, and then if you're going to tip on top of that. Is this really Tilly T though? So yeah, tipping culture in today's world is it's just crazy. But again, for anyone just joining, first of all, double tap that screen for me. Hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please make sure you're subscribed to my channel, or you can become a channel member for as low as 99 cents a month. But yeah, this is just a kind of a test run for me. I really want to start a podcast once a week. So let me know if you guys are enjoying this type of thing. Did I miss Mike G? Oh, never mind. Gotcha. See, my corners hits a lot. I like these little things. See, so if you bet corners right here, you're really getting, you're losing 50 of it, right? Because the rest of them go away except for the one that you hit. So on this one, we would have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get to keep this one because it landed on 32, right? So you're losing 50. You lost 50, but you gained 30 out of it. So it's a good way to make 30 bucks a spin. I kind of like it, and it lands a lot. Yeah, sorry. I Yeah, that went right over my head, but I'm 100% on board now. Think I need more coffee. Oh, that's the number we don't like with this one, though. 0 or 00. But again, for anyone just joining, again, like we kind of talked about, and yeah, actually, I'll schedule a podcast for next week sometime. And it'll be kind of similar to today, but I'll try to make it. I know YouTube has podcasts, so I'll try to make it an actual podcast. But again, my traditional ways of tipping, I've always grown up tipping your servers, your bartenders, your valet drivers. And like I said, I have an unlimited car wash package here in Vegas. It's $21.99 a month. You can go to any of their locations. They have like over 20 or 30 locations all around town. There was one by my apartment where there was 2 guys that actually scrubbed your car before it went through the auto wash. So on that one, I would tip them because they're scrubbing my car. You know what I mean? Especially if they kind of went above and beyond. And it's like 100 and some degrees outside. So, hey, I'm going to throw them a few bucks. So that's what I was raised up tipping. The ones that are kind of questionable for me is like, like your fast food when you're ordering at a counter and then you're picking up your own food and stuff like that. Audrey, thank you so much. Here's a tip for one of my favorite streamers. Audrey, thank you so much. And thank you for always being like a positive presence in so many chats. I see you in a lot of other chats. And You know, a lot of other people get credit for being an awesome mod, but I see you in a lot of chats, and you're always a positive influence. So that's really cool of you. Thank you so much. And Quinn, as always, thank you as well. I appreciate that. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I definitely want to do different things. You know, there's a lot of Vegas streamers, so um, I don't want to do the same thing as everyone else. You know, I want to do something different, and I think I can add a different perspective because I actually have worked as a bartender out here. You know what I mean? So I can tell you crazy bartender stories. I can tell you some of the craziest like fights and stuff I've seen in Vegas. You know, I can tell you stories of when I've got tipped like exceptionally well. Um, and you know, I can tell you all kinds of different stories. Hey, Art Moore's back. What's up, bud? You're adding some whiskey to your tea. I walked through El Cortez the last time we were there. They did a good job on the makeover, but didn't feel it. Oh, really? Okay, yeah, I haven't been there. To be honest, me and my girlfriend have not been to Fremont Street since I believe we went before our Philippines vacation last year. So it's been almost a year. We got to go back. We used to be closer when when we lived at our old apartment, but now we're actually farther away. It's probably almost like a 30-minute drive to Fremont now. But I've always liked El Cortez, to be fair. I think that they're small, they're cozy, they're just far enough off of Fremont Street, so you're not going to get that craziness. But they're still close enough to walk very easily there. Here's why I kind of stay away from El Cortez, and it's not a bad thing, but there's a lot of streamers there. You'll find Vegas Matt there very frequently. You'll find Pomsey there very frequently. You guys can tell me how many other people you'll find at El Cortez a lot. So I'm just trying to be different. You know what I mean? You should come down and play Keno at Bar Canada next week. Klondike Bear, you're going to be in Vegas next week? But there's a couple of places that I actually want to go and kind of play more at. Fremont's one of them. It's just unfortunate that I live far away from them, and I actually kind of want to start exploring Palms a little bit more. I heard Palms is really good with their comps and stuff like that, so I'd actually like to kind of play more at Palms now going forward. You should let me see so many. Yeah, Art. We'll be there Sunday through Wednesday. Oh, nice. That'd be really cool, actually. Yeah, I would love to go play some. You know what? I'll say this. In Fremont, one of my favorite places to go and gamble at is inside of the D Hotel and Casino. They have the longest bar in Vegas, I believe. And even though it's a long bar, I've never had to go there and wait very long for customer service. Even though they're busy and it's a very long bar, I've always gotten a drink there pretty quickly. They're really on it there. 100 on third 12, and then 25 through 36. All right, let's try it. Oh, wait, not that one. There we go. I saw someone doing a live at Green Valley Ranch a few weeks ago doing live. Can't remember who that was. Or Dave, I'm sorry. There is actually a streamer that. Oh, massive win. Which one did we win? What number was it? 28. Okay, so we won this one right here. There's probably a few of us in the chat that watch him. There's a streamer called Big Slaughter. He actually likes to live stream from Green Valley Ranch a lot. So it could have been Big Slaughter. Retired Canine, yeah, they are. They're Palms and Yamava are both owned by San Manuel Indian Tribe in Southern California. Playing my age 82. Yeah, they're both owned by the San Manuel tribe. Here, let's change. We'll do this one again and we'll try a second. 12 through 24 now? All right, cool. But if any of you guys have an interesting place that you've been asked to leave a tip, let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Dealer wins. No bueno. So I just came back from Mexico, right? And again, here's my thoughts on it. You said 12 through 24? Oh, wait, 13 through 24? Here's my big thing. You know, you guys know I love to travel. And here, I'll just do something kind of interesting now. I'll play this. Oh, no, not that one. Hold on. We'll do the first row this time. So when you're traveling, I believe in following like local etiquette, you know what I mean? So like if you're traveling somewhere and they don't believe in tipping and you can actually offend them, I feel like you should do your homework ahead of time and know that, you know? And same thing, if you're going to a country that believes in tipping, I believe that you should know that, like adapt to the country you're visiting, you know what I mean? I went to Mexico. I've been to Mexico a bunch of times. I'm half Mexican. I was raised fully Mexican. You know, I am Mexican American. And you know, over there you do tip. And you know, sometimes um, when you go somewhere, they'll tell you straight up. When they drop off the check, hey, here's your total, and just so you know, it doesn't include a tip. You know what I mean? So, but in Mexico, yeah, you do tip, and you know, and I'll go over there and I'll tip, and um, you know, try to take care of them. So I think here you can do this. No, you can't. Hold on. I thought you could. Nope. Never mind. There you go. You can do that one. Let's see what happens if we do that. I like the bar at Circa way better than the bar Canada at the D. Oh, do you, Frenchie? You know, Circa's great. I don't know if Circa's very massive win, $1,200. Wait, holy crap, that was a great win. Maybe I should be playing this more often, because I think this covers these numbers plus 25 through 36, or does it only cover 31 and 25 through 36? Nice though, that was a big win. Holy crap. Yeah, Circa's great. I would love to spend some more time at Circa though. Ooh, that's not a winner. They're bringing you pills. Hey, bro. You do. No, actually, Dave. I was actually gonna join a league, and it didn't work out. So I was actually thinking about doing that. I was thinking about doing fantasy football, but it's too late now, isn't it? I was actually thinking about doing fantasy football, and like every week when I don't know how it's. I've never done it before, but every week when like you change your lineup, I was actually thinking it would be a cool live stream. I will be in Vegas on the 10th of this month. Will you be on the strip or down at Fremont? Hold on. I'm actually traveling this month. Let me check my travel dates. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? I think I'm gonna be out of town that day. Frenchie, unfortunately, I'll be in another state for a while. Gonna travel for some training. Hold on, let me pull up my calendar for a second. Calendar. Oh yeah. I actually leave town that day. I actually leave town on Monday the 8th. I'll be gone most of that week. So yeah, next week I can tell you guys now that I'm here. Next week I'll be out of the state, so I'll be doing some live streams from a different state. Hang around Atlantic City more than other places, but the new B bar at Borgata is loud with noise, and they changed the payout, so I think it's on. Oh really? Wow. What is survival, Dave? Are you having a drinky poo? Pick a team to win. Any team each week. They win, you move to the next week. If they lose, eliminated. Whoever's left gets the. Oh, nice. That's cool. Actually, I kind of like that better. Nice. Here, let's try to win again here. No, Audrey. I've never been to this state before. Oh, I think. Wait, that's a big win, isn't it? Holy crap! Look, we won 45.80 on that on $100 bet. I have no idea what that covered, but I'll take it. Oh, never mind. I don't think you won that much. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm going for training, so during the day I'll be kind of tied up, but in the evening time, there's a couple cool places that me and my girlfriend are kind of looking up, so we'll be able to do some cool stuff out there. So I'll live stream as much as I can. like outside of work, like the training hours. It's yeah, Dave. That sounds pretty cool, actually. 220 in the pool. Nice. That's awesome. I didn't even know that there was a different kind of like fantasy league for football, that wasn't like the standard one. Maybe that's what I'll do after the stream though. Oh, that's a loss. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do after the stream. See if there's any fantasy leagues still going that I can still sign up for. I'll be back on the 6th of October. October. Yeah, I don't have any travel plans for October yet. Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here then. Do you usually stay in Fremont or on the Strip? Yikes, 2 losses in a row now. But again, just to kind of clarify my stance on this, I do work as a bartender in Vegas, so of course I believe in tipping. You know what I mean? My stance on it is I kind of believe in like the old school tipping. Servers, bartenders, valet drivers, car wash. Um, people that you've traditionally always tipped. Um, there's been a lot of controversy in today's, like, it's been kind of 50-50. Like, a lot of people say they won't tip baristas. I think almost everyone has said they won't tip fast food ones. Like, if you're having to stand up to order and then you have to go pick up your own food, a lot of people said they don't believe in tipping people like that. You know what I mean? So it's been an interesting chat. A lot of people said they tip housekeepers. 29. Oh, I see. Now I get it. So oh, never. Okay, I see. So this one I'm betting 25 through 36, and I'm betting the row of 31, 32, 33. This one I'm betting 13 through 24, but I'm also betting, I think, this corner right here, these 6 numbers. So here, let's try this. I feel like these numbers here, we'll try it with 10s instead. 10, 20, 30, 40. We'll try this one. You play on the Yahoo platform. Okay. Isn't there both like, oh wow, the only one that could have kicked our butt is 0 and 00. I believe Yahoo has free ones, right? And then they have ones that you have to pay. We stay on the Strip, but like to spend some time on Fremont. Okay, nice. Yeah, Fremont is great because, and like summertime, they have free live entertainment. Typically speaking, you have cheaper resort fees, cheaper room rates, cheaper food and drink prices, stuff like that. Fremont's a lot of fun. Is it the same there as it is in Ontario? Oh, for insane. But yeah, if anyone has any ideas for a podcast for next week or for my next one, I'm actually going to legit start like a podcast stream. I think it'd be good. Does anyone have any ideas for topics for me? Today was obviously tipping, right? Oh, I think I know what would be a good topic for my first podcast. How do you guys feel about resort fees? Yeah, free or pay. Whenever you choose, the only one I know that offers survival is... Oh, really? Okay. Wow. So that was a winner. So we won 60, but you would lose 40 out of it. So that's a way to win 20 bucks each time. See, Eric says resort fees are scams. Yep, I 100% agree. And it's funny because if you read the fine print for resort fees tell you Resort fees tell you that a resort fee is for complimentary 800 calls or complimentary local calls. First of all, everyone has a cell phone. Who uses their stupid phones anymore? It tells you that it includes pool access. But if you're a paying guest for the hotel, you should already have pool access. You shouldn't have to pay extra to use a pool, right? Some will tell you it's for 2 complimentary water bottles left in your room. But again, I don't want your stupid 2 water bottles if I'm gonna pay $50 for them. You know what I mean? So yeah, resort fees are 100% a ripoff. Getting a lot of ads popping up. Oh, are you really? Hey, signing Sabrina, how's it going? Thanks for being here. You never been on one of my streams before? I feel like you have, right? Resort fees are horrible and I don't support those places. Yeah, Dave, 100% they're a ripoff. Big, big ripoff. They close the pools early. Yeah, for sure they do. And especially that brings up another point. Like Art said, what if it's not even pool season? So now you're paying for a pool that's closed because it's not in season anyway. You know what I mean? It's just resort fees are a ripoff. Oh, I've actually never been to Atlantic City before. Resort fees are a joke. Like I'm staying to stay, I gotta pay extra. Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, you're paying for parking now. So say you're staying at an MGM property, right? I think their resort fees are up to. Guys, give me like 10 seconds real quick, okay? I'll be right back. I like going to pools at 10 p.m. Oh, that's pretty rare though. Yeah, you really won't find that at in Vegas art more unless you go to like to a pool party. Um, I feel that way about HOA fees on my house. Yeah, Dave, I don't like HOA fees. I feel like I gotta ask permission before painting in a certain color. I gotta ask permission before building a wall on my own property. But did you hear the the state of Florida? There's like a congressperson in Florida that's considering a proposal to ban HOAs in the state, which I thought was interesting. Yeah, you have resort fees in Atlantic City unless you are gold and above with MGM, then they waived, but you're paying for the internet, the pools, even though they're not open. It's so stupid. Um, Fontainebleau, Las Vegas leads the board with the highest daily resort fee. Here, let me move this. Fontainebleau, Las Vegas leads the board with the highest daily resort fee at $56.69 per night. Holy crap. $56 resort fee a night. Multiple luxury properties charge just below that around $55 per night, including Wynn and Encore, Bellagio, Cosmo, Aria, and Vidara. Caesars Entertainment top tier properties, Caesars, Cromwell, Paris, and Planet Hollywood charge around $54.95 per night. That's crazy. Here's a broader breakdown of it. Even Circus Circus charges $44 resort fee. Oh my gosh. They don't have HOA. That's a good thing. Yeah, I think it is a great thing. I think HOA fees are stupid, you know? Why am I going to have to ask permission to paint my own house a certain color? Why do I have to ask permission to build a fence? You know, why do I have to ask permission to put concrete, like to replace the cement on my own driveway, you know? Off strip options often come with a slightly lower resort fee. For example, Rio around 56.69. No, I don't think Rio's is that much. I think that's a mistake. Palms has a $47 resort fee. I didn't know that. Silver Sevens. No, I think what they're saying is their average night per stay because I don't think they have resort fees. I don't. Well, Rio might. Yeah, never mind. I take that back. I just don't think Silver Sevens would have a resort fee. I don't know. I think ChatGPT might have gotten this part wrong, though. Don't pay attention to this part. Four Seasons at Mandalay Bay saw a jump from $45 to $55 resort fee per night. There's a oh, no way. Aria resort fee is $55 plus a $7 resort fee tax. So on top of that, you're paying a resort fee you don't want. Now you're paying taxes on the resort fee you don't even want. That's crazy. But here's a cool little fact. If you're a military veteran, go to any MGM or Caesars property, show them proof of service at their players card desk, and they'll actually give you the next tier of players card, which includes free parking at any of their properties. So go show proof of service to MGM and Caesars, and they'll hook you up with free parking. It would be nice if pools were open later. Too hot during the day to use the pool in the summer. Yeah, I 100% agree, Klondike Bear, especially if you're paying to use it, you know? Like, I sunburn very easily, so I have to be careful when I go to the pool. I have to use sunblock like every hour, and I have to be very careful. So I prefer to use the pool at nighttime. I 100% agree that pools should be open later. I think they just don't want to pay the lifeguard staff, for more than one shift. Silver Sevens is trash and shouldn't have one. Yeah, Austin, 100% I agree with that. I think it should have to be an actual resort to. Yeah, I agree with that too. Hey, Mike G, the real Mike G's in the house. How's it going? Thanks for being here. Yeah, Gambling Gary's right. Military players cards look way cooler. Yeah, they do actually give you one. Caesars has been doing it for a few years now. Caesars properties, they give you one with like the American flag on it, and it says like their military rewards program or something like that. But MGM actually started doing that now too. So, yeah, MGM has like one card that I think it's good for discounts and stuff too. Retired Canine, you have military gold. Okay, nice. Do you have any perks with that, Retired Canine? Want to help comparing these costs with mid-tier or bargain options or strategies that... Here, let me see if I'm forgetting which ones do not have resort fees. Um, I know in Fremont... Which one's the one in Fremont that doesn't... Binion's doesn't have a resort fee. Let me ask. Here, we'll see if anyone do not have 10% off in a restaurant. Okay, that's something. Maria's back in the house. $700 in comps to use at MGM. See, Retired Canine, like when I got upgraded to, I think it's MGM, I think it's Pearl. I was supposed to get like, oh, you're gonna get like free room comps and all that. But every time MGM sends me emails saying like, you qualify for 2 free nights at Mandalay Bay, you qualify for 1 free night at MGM. Like I always open it up and there's never ever a free one, like a free night. It's just discounted, but then you still have to pay the resort fee on top of that. 48,000 points away from platinum status at MGM. Nice, Maria. So let's see. On the Strip in Vegas, Casino Royale / Best Western, a compact, budget friendly. So yeah, you guys know Casino Royale. They have that cheap hot dog deal. It's right in the heart of the Strip. Treasure Island typically charges a resort fee, but you can opt out if booking through their TV ad special. Oh, there you go. So here's kind of something. If you're going to stay at Treasure Island, try opting out if you book through their TV ad special offer. Just forfeit amenities like Wi-Fi and fitness center access. See, again, but Wi-Fi should be included if you're paying to stay at their hotel. But there you go. You can try Treasure Island. In downtown Fremont, Four Queens and Binions. Four Queens, longtime Fremont favorite that never charges a resort fee. In Binions, Hotel Apache. I've actually stayed at Hotel Apache. I have a video of it on my channel a few years ago. Newly remodeled, or newly reopened, and maintains no resort fee policy. Okay, that's cool. Thank you, Frenchie, for the support. Have gradually gotten worse over the years. Yeah, I've heard a couple people say that. We don't have a resort fee. We just pay $6.50 a night. All right, let's see what on or near the strip. Oh yeah, of course, Travel Lodge and stuff like that. Oh, there you go. Jockey Club at the Cosmo doesn't have one. Marriott Grand Chateau. That's a nice one. It's right on the heart of the strip. Oh, actually, Fro stayed here. Desert Rose Resort. It's actually right behind Oyo. Fro actually has a video on his channel of this one, so you can see Fro's channel if you want a tour. I think he said it's like a whole big room and everything. Oh, okay. I have live stream where I've passed by this one a lot. Hilton Garden Inn, Las Vegas City Center. It's on Dean Martin Drive on Tropicana Avenue by that In and Out. But it would be kind of it's a walk. It's at least probably a 15-minute walk to Excalibur or Luxor. Off-strip location. Yeah, of course these aren't going to have any. All things in Atlantic City, you don't have any Tier X days. Oh, really? Okay. Here's a resort fee. Mike G, as always, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. For those of you guys in the chat, if you like some cooking streams, make sure you check out Eating is My Jam. Really cool shorts and live streams of cooking. Really cool channel. Go check it out. Is the best to stay on the strip? That's a great question. I actually had a really good time at White Off Astoria. It was a really nice view of the strip. It's right next door to Aria, so if you want to gamble, you can go to Aria. But White Off Astoria was like a really beautiful, elegant room, and it was what's it called? A really nice strip view too. We had a nice view of the strip, so I really enjoyed White Off Astoria a lot. I can afford Circus Circus. Yeah, I know. Now, does that come with the bulletproof vest, or should I take my own? Austin, it's called White Off Astoria. It's right next door to Aria. It's part of the Hilton program, so you can use like your Hilton honors points and stuff there. It was formerly called the Mandarin Oriental. Now it's called White Off Astoria. And if you guys want a hidden gem off the strip that has a really nice resort-style pool, check out Tahiti Village. Tahiti Village, it's actually a timeshare resort, but when they have extra rooms that aren't used as timeshare, they double book them as hotels. They have a really nice, really beautiful resort. They have a restaurant. They have a pizza place. Their restaurant and bar has a happy hour. They have a big pool with sand and everything. It really feels like a resort. They have a lazy river, which I think is the second largest lazy river in all of Vegas. And here's what's cool about them. Because they're also a timeshare resort, they can't tell you can't take your own alcohol in there. So you can actually take like your own little cooler, like your own little ice chest, and you can take your own drinks in there, beers, whatever you want to take. The only thing that they are strict on is glass, because you don't want to have glass, of course, in the pool or the lazy river. But you can actually take your own beers in there. Here's a fun little fact. I actually used to work there. It's my very first bar back or bartending job ever. I used to work there. And on my days off on Friday, I had a master key on my keychain, right? It was like a little key thing, and it would open any door. It was a master key. So I would just go in there on my days off, like on Friday, and I would charge it up. And I'd actually go in the lazy river. So I would just bring a little 6-pack of beer and just jump in there, and I would just bring cans of beer, like a 6-pan of canned beer, and I would just jump in the lazy river with the beer, jump out 10, 15 minutes later. If I need another beer, get another beer, crack it open, jump right back in the lazy river again. Come with the room. What was the pay? Salary, hourly? Mike G at Tahiti Village. But again, here's some different places that don't have resort fees. Arizona Charlie's, pretty much all the off-strip properties. Courtyards, yeah, Marriott's don't have resort fees. Ilara, which is a Hilton Grand Vacation, that's actually one that's on my list. I actually want to try that one. And again, Marriott Grand Chateau. I've actually stayed there one time. They have a rooftop pool, and it's pretty nice, centrally located on the strip. The Grand View, that's actually a timeshare resort. Sorry, let me catch up. Thank you, Audrey. Yep. Everyone go subscribe to Eating is My Jam. Really great food videos. Um, Eating in my gym is an hourly. I want to say back then it wasn't even $12 an hour. That back then I want to say it was. I want to say back then it was still $8 an hour, plus tips, of course. Oh, do you live close to the cannery? Now they closed one down, right? But they still have another one. Yes and no, Maria. I've stayed at some places in Vegas, but there's so many more that I need to stay at. I really haven't stayed at too many MGM properties. I haven't stayed at too many Caesars properties. Um, I haven't stayed at Wynn or Encore. I haven't stayed at Venetian or Palazzo. I've stayed at more off the strip properties than I have on the strip properties. Like I can tell you guys, hold on, let me go back through this list. Um, I've never stayed at Casino Royale or Treasure Island. I've stayed at Binion's, at Hotel Apache. I've stayed at the D in Fremont as well. I've stayed at Marriott Grand Chateau. Um, I've stayed here at Hilton Garden in Las Vegas City Center. It's only like this one, the Hilton Garden Las Vegas City Center. It's only like 6 or 7 years old, so it's fairly new. They have a bar and restaurant there. They actually have a happy hour there. They have a happy hour. I think it's from 5 to 6 or 5 to 7, and it's 20% off of drinks. And their drink prices were actually pretty decent there too. Um, have I stayed at any of these other places on here? I've stayed at a lot of places that aren't listed on here. I stayed at the Mirage. I stayed at Tropicana. But yeah. Hey, Simple Simon, how's it going? Here, let's go back to. Yeah, Maria, and that's so unheard of on the strip, you know what I mean? Unless you have a place like Oyo that has the $3 draft beer specials, or you go somewhere that has those drink specials, you know. But again, if you're watching, please double tap that screen for me, hit that like button for me. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Dealer wins. That was not a winner. But yeah, so I really enjoyed this actually. I think it was a cool thing to do. I will start doing um a podcast every single week now, at least once a week, and it's actually gonna be like podcast style. I think next week we'll discuss resort fees, and I'll actually have like a list. I mean, ChatGPT was cool for bringing up that list, you know what I mean? But I'll actually have like a dedicated list and stuff, and we'll actually get into resort fees a lot more. Or I'll come up with a better topic. Anyone have any better topics for me for the very first podcast edition? But yeah, I'm gonna start doing this. I actually really genuinely enjoy the chat. I think it's great, you know. You go into some other channels and like the chat is just so negative and toxic, and or you get attacked or something on there, you know what I mean? So yeah, I actually enjoy having a chat like this where everyone's getting along, everyone's positive, everyone's having a good time. Ogie, drop your link. The Masterad has some really cool products. If you like really good beef jerky, wet or dry rubs, stuff like that, go check out the product. Ogie, drop your link in the chat. We stay at Cosmore Venetian properties. Oh, okay, nice. I've always wanted to stay at Venetian. That's like on my list. Been listening for a while, just loading my face with KFC. There you go. KFC sounds amazing though. So let me ask you guys, for fried chicken, would you guys do KFC, Popeyes, Church's Chicken, or Jollibee? Austin says Wingstop. Hey Tat, how's it going? Ooh, 23. Big win. Tat says 33. All right, I'm going to put 33. And just for the hell of it, we'll go on black too, okay? No, Audrey, I think that's a Nevada thing. So Reno does as well. And a couple of people in the chat, does Atlantic City doesn't do that, right? Atlantic City you have to pay. But yeah, Reno does that as well. I think it's a Nevada thing. Popeyes because I like the spicy chicken. Yeah, see, Maria, I haven't tried their spicy chicken yet. Wait, did we win? So we went black, but not 33. Okay. Or Jollibee because oh, are you really, Austin? My girlfriend's Filipino. That's why I know about Jollibee. I'll tell you one thing though. Jollibee in Philippines is so much better than Jollibee here in the States. Great. This is a great channel. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, after seeing a lot of the crap that goes on in other channels, I just want this place to, everyone to feel welcome here. Everyone to feel welcome here, and everyone to feel like they're safe here. You know what I mean? Just have a good chat with everyone. I'll do this. Klondike Bear says Popeyes. Frenchie says Popeyes. Wow, there's quite a bit of Popeyes in the chat. Okay. Chicken everywhere is better than here. Where exactly, Slipjaw? I'll say this. Like, my grandma absolutely loved... Which one did we get? 6. Oh, okay. My grandma loved Church's chicken. So when I would go visit her for the summer, we would have a lot of Church's chicken. But when I was stationed in Japan, there was a Popeyes on base. So I actually kind of grew fond of Popeyes. But I gotta say, Jollibee's chicken is actually pretty good too now. Hey, Carrie, how's it going? Carrie says Popeyes too. Okay. Really, Slipjaw? Holy crap. Okay. McDonald's in Philippines has fried chicken too. So we got to try that. There's actually a video I did in Philippines. You guys should check out some of my food vlogs from... I don't think that's a winner. Oh, yeah, no, it's not. You guys should check out some of my food vlogs from the Philippines. I did one of McDonald's. They serve Filipino spaghetti there. They serve fried chicken there. Plus, they have like the majority of the like standard McDonald's menu. It's pretty cool, actually. Hey, Eric, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Have a great night, and I hope to see you in a stream very soon. I'll probably have a Kino live stream tomorrow evening. Probably around this time, but tomorrow I'll probably do a Kino live stream. Jollibee's chicken is okay, but their peach mango pies are amazing. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. 100%. Better cold if you bring a couple home. And oh, really? I've never tried them cold. That's cool. Yeah, Ogie's actually in the Guinness Book of Records. The cheese, yeah, okay. We don't really have many options here. I think we have one Popeyes in the North Island, but I'm in... Oh, really? Wow. Going to try Jollibee's tomorrow. Nice, Maria. So, yeah, I mean, my girlfriend's Filipino, so, of course, I tried it a lot with her. Yeah, 100%. Klondike Bear's right. Their peach mango pie is absolutely amazing. Now that you made me remember it. Really, really, really good. But yeah, I do believe that the Jollibee in Philippines was a lot better. 100% agree with that. But yeah, the Jollibee out here is still pretty good. And I do like their fried chicken, actually. You'll have to let us know if you like it. But for right now, I'll probably end the stream. We haven't really been talking about tipping for a few minutes anyway, so... I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of stream. It's something different. I just wanted to try it. If it worked out well, I'm going to start doing a podcast every week. I think it was actually pretty good. Everyone in the chat was good. I just have to see one thing. If I podcast on YouTube, if it still lets you guys chat or not. Because if it doesn't let you guys chat, it won't be as fun. But if the podcast gives you guys a chat box, then it would be pretty cool. So I'm going to look into that, but I do like the idea of it. I appreciate you for all being here. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. To all my moderators, thank you for always keeping the chat clean and helping me. To all the members, thank you so much for all the support. It means a lot. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Kino stream tomorrow. But yeah, thanks again for being here. Take care. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Sorry, I came back for one more comment. 57 says, I'm a table games dealer. Tips are how we live, yo. But at the same time, you ain't getting a service. Yeah, same here. I'm a bartender, 57, so I rely on tips too. So 100% agree with you. I rely on tips, you know what I mean? But with that being said, you definitely need to provide good service, you know what I mean? So yeah, I believe in tipping, but with tipping should also come good service, you know? But thanks again for being here. I appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Take care, and I hope to see you on tomorrow's stream.